Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kare. Welcome to MentorCard. Um, we have been taking various topics related to startups and the overall ecosystem, overall processes, etc. One important point and subject which has been coming around to all of us, and many of us knows very little about it, is intellectual property. Intellectual property, at times we understand the value when we make some losses, or when somebody uses our IP for their benefit, and we get impacted out of it. So I thought let's have one complete session from expert and to talk about intellectual property as a whole for a startup and how it works for them. So today we have invited Saurabh Trivedi, who is an expert of intellectual property. He is a mentor, speaker, and director for Startup Buddy, and he look after the intellectual property business there. And I thought, who's better than him to come? And he is a global exposure on intellectual property. So let's welcome Saurabh, and then we take it forward from there. Hi, Saurabh.
Hi, Ashish.
Hi, thank you very much for joining the session. You have been always a great support to MentorCard, online, offline, everywhere. So thank you very much for that. Um, I would say, Saurabh, that this session I would like you to start with your opening remark on intellectual property, how it works, why it is, and what are the benefits. So maybe take it forward, and then I have few questions I have been taking up from people who are startup founders all the time. I've been meeting into various conferences, meetings. They've been coming for mentoring sessions, online, offline, and always the intellectual property related questions comes up. So I collected some of them, and then I will start speaking about and asking about them.
Perfect. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Ashish, for inviting me for this session as an IPR. Why this is important and why some kind of myths is always there with the startups or other entrepreneurs. So the thing is that which I'm broadly categorized intellectual property is a category of a property. Okay, where
Mhm.
this includes intangible things, intangible creations of a mind. So which is basically considering as an intellectual in overall ours mind. Okay, broadly covers the patents, trademarks, copyright, design. So this entirely thing covers four types of property, which is intangible. But yes, these intangibles are assets for any business, any startup. Yes. Why shouldn't do or what kind of property they are going to target? Or if I'm going to start with some kind of like taking some examples of infringement, I just taking this topic as a why intellectual property is important with the infringement matters. Okay, even why I am starting this with the infringement matters, because it's not about securing our property; it's always to respect others' property as well. Okay,
Yes.
so and everybody is going to recall from the brand's name where this intellectual property fight has arise. Okay, so everybody heard about this Micromax and Ericsson case. Okay, where they have Micromax is using the Qualcomm chipset from which is intellectual property of Ericsson. So they have even didn't even think of like this kind of thing is happening once they are going to start and growing at that level. Micromax is like growing at a very faster pace from the initial stage once they are launching this mobile phones, and then after 5 years once they are having a good market value, then Ericsson came into picture and asked for the legal battle to claim the damages of their intellectual property. So they didn't even till now, Micromax didn't realize that they are infringing some properties, okay, which is intangible. Okay. Then once they file and do this legal battle for 5 years, then lost the case, and then they are like giving the royalties on every mobile phone which they are going to sell in the market. Why I'm taking this big example? Because everybody is recalling with the name. So everybody knows about Ericsson, everybody knows about the Micromax. So that is the one thing which I'm going to give a very good perspective, that respect others' property as well. Just don't bother like we are not going to secure the intellectual property, but we have to respect others' property. So these are some little things for the infringement, and even you have heard about that Royal Enfield is going challenge हुआ था Royal Enfield का एक component था which is patented. So definitely that is also into consideration of the intellectual property, but we didn't realize. On a starting note, we don't realize. So this is something I just wanted to say. Intellectual property is creations of any mindset, and just to protect them and to appreciate others as well. So this is overall scenario of the intellectual property.
Right. So as you rightly said that, and I have also made an opening remark that at times we realize the value when we lost it, and that is the biggest problem. So why not be informed, aware, and we take a decision when to file, what not to file at a very initial stage. So as I told you earlier that I've been meeting lot many entrepreneurs, founders, and
Mm-hmm.
they have been discussing around. Many time I found some of the, especially the very youngest one who doesn't know much about IP. Immediately after college they started or something like that. Is question comes to them that when you talk about IP, they think about patent.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So, as you guys said, tangible, intangible. So, I would like to just ask you to put
Mm-hmm.
some light on that. What do
Sure.
you call as intellectual property? I mean, saying for a company, how he segregate that.
Yeah, absolutely correct in this part. Whenever we are going to interact with any person about this intellectual property thing, they only thinks about the patents. Okay, they don't, because patents is a very big category of this intellectual property. Everybody is going to correlate this IP with patents, because but they categorically missed out that there are lots of other intellectual property, other type of intellectual property, which is not similar with the patents. Okay, so once we are talking about the patents, this technicality, technology is involved. Okay, then we are going to file a patent. Other thing, names, unique logo, identity, brand identity. This comes under the trademark. That this is some kind of what you can say protection over your brand identity. Okay. Then third important category, which comes to copyright, where you are just securing your literature part, your source code, computer programs, tables, or n number of things under the copyright application. And the
Hmm.
last category in terms of, because these four categories are primarily focused in India also or other countries, the design, where you just protect the overall looks, aesthetic looks of the product. Shape, size doesn't matter. Only the looks of the product is registered as a design registration. So sometimes a person can combine this with the design patent, but this the design patent is a term used for US US laws, USPTO's laws. But in India, it's called as a design registration. Then another thing, another category is geographical indication. Whenever we can say that Pashmina, then I think everybody correlates with that Pashmina to the Kashmir. So everybody correlates with this kind of geographical indications. Even if I'm talking about the oranges, then everybody is looking for Nagpur. So this is known as a geographical indication, which can be filed by the different entity, which I will be talking in like later part of the discussion. So this is something: patents, trademarks, copyright, designs, and geographical indications. That is very important. Yeah.
That's very interesting. At time we have been hearing news is that okay, this belongs to India, but the patent has been filed by US, blah blah blah. So those all have been stories around us, but probably we have not digged out much because none of our business at times, and all that. But when I stepped into entrepreneurship and thing, then obviously these things matters a lot. And even in the job at a senior position you will care about intellectual property. That's
Yes.
what I have come across in my experience. Next thing which is comes in mind, people mind when you talk about intellectual property is in India. Oh, India, you know what? Nothing works. Here is no benefit of IP. Nobody can sue anybody. And it's just about nothing on software side. I don't know what they patent. I know how it works out. It takes hell of a number of years. all that is all about negativity you hear about Indian IP system. So I want to understand first from you, and then how things are now today and how is shaping up, and what is your experience around? Is it a myth or is it not the reality?
The thing is that, like, if I'm talking about any intellectual property organization who is taking care of their jurisdiction specifically, okay, there are some backlogs, but that doesn't mean that this is excuse for not to file the application. The thing is that if you just wanted to protect your patent, just to file, I'm talking about the India scenario. Okay, uh, even if you just check that the foreign databases, okay, where lots of applications from the even the very good Zen Mobile from Japan, or you can say any good number companies from US, China, Korea, Japan, they are going to file their intellectual property in India. So there is a reason behind it, because they just wanted to protect their jurisdiction where they are getting the good number of consumers. Okay,
Hmm.
because after China, India is on second number where there are lots of consumers, and everything is making for consumers. Okay, like the product, if you are just going to sell, who is the your end consumer? So you need some kind of base. So if you are considering the example of Indian Patent Office, now if you file as a startup, like if you file an application on the basis of your category as a startup, then you have the provisions to expedite the application. And everybody, like, if you don't want to file the expedite examination, then it may take a longer process to as a normal route, like a 4 years to examine the patent application, 48 months. That is something government has given you some kind of leverage, that this much of time frame you can apply for the examination. Okay, if you're just going to file the application, and filing with the filing of the application, you are just requesting for the examination, that might increase the prospects that you can get the examination done at the earlier stage, and you may get for the process faster. But nobody, because everybody is waiting for that 4 years time period, that we have 4 years time, so then we can examine, we can file the request for examination. So that is, you are delaying the process, so that they automatically delaying, because once you are giving the request for the examination, they are getting the examination response, then they can queue it. So that is the process which is in every country. If I'm talking about the Japan will take almost 5 years to take the examination process. And if I'm talking about in US, they may take 18 to 24 months. But yes, they are taking the, even at the filing of the application, at the time of the filing application, they are taking the request for examination as well. Without request for examination, they are not considering the application. So this understanding is with the applicant itself. If they just wanted to examine this application, getting this application faster pace, you have to follow the processes. If you just wanted immediate expedite, you just file the expedite and double the fees, because government is also taking double fees on the expedition, because
Hmm.
you just
Hmm.
pass on the queue and then file the application. So this is something which I'm saying right now. They are hiring lots of patent examiner in their offices, so they are working so hard for the examining the application. So this is only the bit. And if this is the case, why all foreign entities are filing the India applications? So it's true on the facts which they have done already. A good number of applications coming from the foreign countries. So that might be they are considering that India would be a good market for their products and services. So why shouldn't we? We're just blaming that might be that this IP shouldn't go anywhere. So always there would be. I just take some more time on this part. Always thinking that there are two prospects. One is business aspects of your startup. Another is you just wanted to protect your intellectual property or the concept, so that you can run the business on them.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you on the sake of just to business, then might be I'm saying that you don't wish to file the application because you just wanted to focus on the business part. If you just
Hmm.
wanted to protect your technology for a longer term, which is a 20 years for the terms of intellectual property or for the patents itself, so then you can consider that this technology is my business. Okay, so I just wanted to secure it for the next 20 years. I don't wish to do the business for a shorter term, 1 year or 2 years. So this is something mind perception. You can file the application and getting it very easily.
Okay, so coming to the point, like, yeah. So one question probably, that how India is changing, right, in terms of the earlier method and now in software and other thing, and India is changing and coping up with the world on intellectual property. Would you like to put some light on that?
Yeah, definitely. On earlier traditional method, there would be only offline method where you have to go to the patent office, submit a document. Every time you just reaching to them and ask for, like, this is my priority document certification. I need to extract it from there. Once these tools are online, or from the last few days back, I think few years back, all things are sorted and online operations are working fine. Every
Hmm.
platform, whether it's a patent filing platform, copyright platform, trademark filing platform, everything is available online. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to put the document, and from that aspect, if you just file a patent application here, you can file the world intellectual, what you can say, international PCT application as well from taking this application online. So everything is improving, and you know that if we are at starting at a, from a schooling, then we are getting another level at a university, but there are certain time frame, like 2 year
Hmm.
after 12th you just go to there, then you have completed your graduation. So there are improving in your part also. So that is the same thing with the any patent office, they are working on partly on the technology part. So this is something my part on this.
Okay, that sounds good. Coming to the again startup, what are the few biggest mistakes startups makes when they deal with the intellectual property? So maybe you can just highlight some of them. People will be able to connect themselves that okay, they should not be doing these mistakes.
Perfect. The thing is that once I'm talking for this, talking about this startups, uh, they just have some thoughts in their mind, and I don't think that this might be as an intellectual property. They don't think, because
Hmm.
their focus is only on the investment side. That this is my
Hmm.
idea. I just wanted to ask with my uncle or my family and friends. So then accordingly I can take some kind of money to bootstrap and then start my idea. Okay, they didn't think that might be there is something which I can protect under this intellectual property. They don't think.
Yeah.
Once, and even the brand protection part, even lots of companies which I am working with, they have start doing businesses, everything fine, getting some kind of investment, then they didn't realize that oh, we have not secured this trade, we have not filed a trademark application. Then they are going to change strategies, then they are going to ask with the IP expert that what is the possibilities, how we are going to take, because they didn't realize at the time of
Hmm.
conceptualize. But after that, once the investment is done, then they are going to expand it a very larger scale. Then they think of, oh, there's a need to protect the brand name, to protect my technology, not to copying by others. So this is something I just want to say, that once you have that idea, once you have that concept in your mind, you just file IP if there is a need of IP, then you can file. Else, we are okay. But yes, definitely every business, Ashish, you know that you have registered this mentor card as well, and there's a registration certificate with you. So you know that this logo's value is it itself is have value for you. So you have
Right.
to file in an initial stage. Otherwise, somebody is going to start with the same logo, and then you realize that why should I file? They are taking my business from my name. So this is something my advice, just to file secure intellectual property at the initial stage. Yes.
Right. So a very good insight in terms of some of the mistake we generally make. Um, what about the IP filing? I'm saying one is that would like to understand any IP which you have to file. What are the process involved or the steps involved in a broad way? Maybe suppose if someone want to file a patent. So what is the process involved?
I just wanted to say that I'm taking this as a very layman language. Okay, that nobody
Yeah,
is
very
knowing
layman.
about this
Very
intellectual
layman.
property. Okay.
Yes.
Then you just take this process as the examination process of your what you can say college or any examination process. Okay,
Hmm.
you are
Hmm.
taking the admission in university. You
Hmm.
are submitting your papers. That is the one
Hmm.
thing. What exactly the next part is examinations.
Hmm.
Okay, the same thing is happening with your application. On the similar note, examination is going to be happen. Okay,
Hmm.
in examination you might get some kind of rejection in terms of maybe you can get some kind of reappearing or some kind of compartment which you may get some in the examination part. Okay,
Hmm.
so then again you are going to submit or giving that exam. The same thing
Hmm.
in the patent office, you are filing the application, filing in terms of whatever do you have in your mind, or
Hmm.
taking the help of your expert, IP expert, who is well versed with the drafting process, because drafting is the main element in this application.
Hmm.
Okay, patent
Hmm.
application. So
Hmm.
once they are drafted this application, file it in Indian Patent Office for going to the examination. If they are going to reject that application, you are going to again submitting your
Hmm.
answers, responses, that this is because they are not going to block you. They're just
Hmm.
opening, like what
Hmm.
exactly, because I'm as an examiner, if you just present me a three different applications, I don't might not be understanding from your perspective. I'm understanding on
Hmm.
my perspective, my theory basis, what I learned so far. Okay,
Hmm.
so examination process, you are going to respond, give them a response. Then,
Hmm.
if the response is considered by the examiner, it's good. It's good for everybody. And if not considered, then they are giving you the chance to appear in hearing. Okay, where you are
Hmm.
going to interact with the examiner itself and make him understand that this is my concept, this is my technology, and how this is different or unique from others who is going to be on the basis of citations. Like you are rejecting me, but I am giving you certain answers why I am unique in terms of uniqueness. So this is my perspective, that this is a same process which everybody in their life, schooling, university, same processes with the patent offices. Because I'm taking as a layman, that's why I'm taking this process. So to understand, file your application, examination happen. If examination is not clear, then you have to reappear for the examination. If reappear is not cleared, then you have going to appear with the hearing part, just to
Okay.
interact to understand the technology. Yeah.
Okay, understand. So one more myth is coming from founders that okay, what cases the Indian company or a startup to file IP outside India, and if it is outside India, is what is the process, and will they be able to file the IP sitting here? How it benefited them in future? So that is also one thing which comes generally from people. So
Okay.
what is your view
So
on that?
once you are talking about this IP filing, and even this is a very good thing when I am talking about the advantages of Indian Patent Office, or maybe anywhere you are, like if you are a citizen of any other country, then what is the benefit to file their local application in their local jurisdiction? So if you're Indian citizen, you file the application first in the Indian Patent Office. You take or claim the priority from the Indian Patent Office to file in different countries. Why you are choosing the different countries? Because you think everybody, if I'm talking about this scenario for very big companies, they are considering their market not limited to their jurisdiction. They are like expanding till the world level. So that is why you think of from the world's perspective, not for the specifically on Indian basis or any jurisdiction basis. And once you file this application in India Patent Office, you think that Japan is a very good market for your product, for your services. Then you might take the priority from the Indian Patent Office, from your local patent office, to file
Hmm.
it in Japan Patent Office. So this is an online system, okay, where you just take the assistance from IP expert. If you think of else, because you might not able to understand the laws, their IPC, there are sections which correlate with their language. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is why you require the IP expert to assist you in filing your application in Japan. And even Japan needs a translation, so you need to file a translation also, some kind of declaration with the translator. So all things process required a expert advice. Okay, so that you didn't miss any document. Okay, And if you're considering more than 10 or 20 countries, I prefer that you can go for alternative routes of PCT filing, where you can just file your application on the PCT platform and you get extra 18 months extension to think of where to file the application or where not to file application. There are the 152, more than 152 countries are the part of this patent cooperation treaty. In terms of
Mm.
you just file the application on the platform, there is nothing registered, there is nothing, you just get the some application date, international application filing date, and from there itself you are getting the 18 months and all your documents. Like if I'm talking about your local Indian patent office, the first application you have filed is available. All documents are available on the World Intellectual Property Organization. This is a PCT if you file. So from there onward, if any country you just wanted to file, send them that application number and they can extract all the documents without taking anything from you or asking from you to exchange those kind of documents. So this is the advantages which you may consider to file in other countries. Whether you can choose the traditional method of 12 months or you can opt for the PCT platform and taking some extensions on that part. So this is what I'm saying for the IP filing stage. In the foreign countries, yes, you can file, but just to avoid some kind of mistakes for filing international application, take some IP experts advice always.
Yeah. Okay. One question also in terms of generally comes as you also mentioned that at times we think that whether it's an IP or not, and that is something we decide sometime at ours by ourselves.
Very
And
true.
when we think that yeah this is IP, then we go to consultant and say, hey, file this. This is my IP. At times it also happens that the consultant, if he's a genuine consultant, he say, oh, this is not IP.
Very true.
Right? Or he may say, oh, why don't you file this? Because this is something which I understand from your business is unique, right? So, uh, how to find out, first of all, that what is my IP and what is not? And maybe to make it easy for everyone to understand what is not IP. Is there any thumb rule? Is there any general rule which we can set up in our mind?
Yes, I can say that this is something general perspective which you can take or consider always to
Hmm.
identify there is a IP or no IP. Okay,
Hmm.
the things which is related to the technology. Okay, then you immediately think, yeah, there is a technology involvement, or might be I'm going to use some kind of chipset or some kind of electronic device, mechanical devices for making my product. Then you think of that there might not your IP, but others' IP as well. So might
Hmm.
be there you can think that you have to consult with the IPR expert. Okay,
Hmm.
for the IP perspective. If you think of that brand name or the filing application, that is something which immediately you can require. Okay.
Hmm.
In terms of like if I'm talking about the software applications where you per se is not allowed, software applications are not patentable in India per se. The thing is that if you just file this application in Indian Patent Office and you think that you have a market in US or in different countries, you might file the same application in those markets just to protect them. Okay.
Hmm.
If you're not getting that application registered in India, that doesn't impact on those applications for different countries. Okay, so filing or else you can obtain a foreign filing license without filing in India. You just obtain that license. Sir, we are not going to file in India. We are not giving this concept to India because it's not patentable. So I'm going to file it in US, China, Korea, Japan, or whatever the countries. Okay, so they might consider, okay, and provide you the FFL. So this is something which I'm talking about. The technology immediately comes into mind. Yes, there should be IP, might be IP. Okay, brand name. Yeah, definitely we can think of any brand identity. We can file a trademark application as an IP. If there is a source code which you have developed, which you have made, or some kind of e-commerce platform, some kinds of application, you might think of again, oh, there is a IP, might be, or I am going to infringe others' IP also. If I'm just copying the source code or something like that. If we have the fourth point, which why I'm coming it as on the categories, because if there's something, some unique design, you have designed it. Like if you have some kind of mobile phone having the four edges, you have designed it very well, and you just don't want that anybody can copy, then you can file a design application. The last thing, what not to IP. Even if I'm talking about the even Coca-Cola, you know that Coca-Cola very well. There is a formula which they have protect. If they are going to file the patent application, it's already available in the market. Anybody can copy, anybody can do the formulation, even after 20 years. Okay. If this is like trademark is not possible in this category because there is a formula, copyright is not possible. So then it comes under the trade secrets, not to IP. Okay, so you just protect your trade secrets with yourself and with your team members itself, because they have even this formula. I think Vault in Atlanta, they have safeguarded this formula. Okay, nobody is knowing that, and so this kind of protection doesn't appear in the IP. So you just protect yourself by doing some kind of agreement with your vendors, with your colleagues, with your employee itself. So trade secrets, which comes not to IP, but you can secure yourself. So this is something which my perspective, so in terms of what to IP or what not to IP.
Okay. Coming to the last question, because we are already running out of time, is that how IP help in evaluating the company or evaluating the asset or valuation of the startup?
So when it comes to IP, IP gives you power. IP gives you credibility. How you it gives you power to eliminate others. If other startup in the same domain, the working on the same kind of concept, and you have the same kind of concept, but IP is there, then you have the upper edge on that kind of competitors applications, competitors concept. Okay, this is the power to eliminate others. Okay, then you have credibility. Might be some persons knows you by the way of your IP. Okay, that this company is having a patent, so we can acquire, we can ask for some kind of collaboration. So you get some kind of credibility. Okay, if I'm talking about these two words, power and credibility, this gives you valuation itself. Some valuations, even when I'm talking about that brand names, even Kingfisher's brand trademark, you know that 350 CR they have sold that brand name itself. So there is a valuation associated always with this IP. A patent.
Brand.
Everybody is looking for those kind of compositions. Pharmaceuticals. If I'm talking about the pharmaceuticals, the composition is itself having a very unique value. If they are generic available, everybody is going to sell it out at very nominal cost. Compounds are available. But if you're just going to protect under the IP, there would be certain values, and that drug itself costing you, I think you might visit some kind of druggist, and you know that 1,000 and 2,000 or 3,000 of the one capsule, single capsule injections are available. Why? Because they have patented those kind of drugs. So that is why they give some kind of value. Otherwise, you are going to sell on a very nominal price. Anything you are going to sell it at a very nominal price. But this gives you an upper edge in terms of the credibility, in terms of the power, in terms of the valuation, even with the investors.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So guys, and thank you, Saurabh, for giving such a wonderful insight about the intellectual property. And I would request you guys to reach out to Saurabh when you think that you should be doing it. And in any case, he's available on the MentorCard platform to chit chat. You can reach out to him on our internal chat system or on a call, schedule a call system. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Saurabh, for coming over and spending the time again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashish, for this wonderful session, and I hope that we justified the time of the audiences or whosoever is taking some knowledge from this IPR. So it's really helpful, and thanks a lot for this MentorCard platform for this.
Sure. What we will do is basically probably what we'll also do that when we will bring it out. So what we will do, we will give access like, oh, today will be an intellectual property day type. So anybody and everybody can ask anything related to IP on the platform itself, and you can be available on that day, something like that. We'll plan out.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Sure. Thank you, Ashish.